Joining me live on the phone right now is John Moore with Getty Images, one of the largest photo agencies in the world. John actually took the last known images of Bhutto as she was getting into her car, as well as some images of the blast. John, hello, are you with me?
Hello, Nicole. Good to speak with you.
Thank you so much for your time. Take me back to the beginning. You're a senior staff photographer based in Islamabad. You also cover South Asia and the Middle East. How did you find yourself in front of this motorcade this morning?
Well, you know, I've been covering the Benazir story since she got back here in Karachi a few months ago when she had the previous attempt against her life. And you know, today was a big rally here in Rawalpindi, which is right next to the capital city. It's the sister city of Islamabad here. And she had about 8,000 people. And she emerged from this campaign rally, much to my surprise, standing up through the sunroof of her car waving to the crowd. Now, considering what happened in Karachi a while back, I was very surprised to see that. So I ran up, got as close as I could, and made a few pictures of her waving to the crowd. Her vehicle was pushing through. And then suddenly there were a few gunshots that rang out, and she went down. She went down through the sunroof, and just at that moment, I raised my camera up, and the blast happened, and so I photographed the explosion as well. And then, of course, there was chaos. People were running. There were things flying through the air. There were body parts. It was very, very grim.
What were you thinking, if you had any time to think at all? We see one of the last images of Benazir Bhutto that you captured holding that camera. Were you frightened yourself?
Well, I was getting pushed around quite a bit. There was a large group of supporters crowded around her vehicle, which was moving very slowly to inch its way through the crowd. I was getting pushed around in the throng, and she was waving, and she was clearly in her element. If she had taken the risk to come out from the top of her vehicle, she just wanted to get close to the people, and obviously whoever was after her, they saw that coming.
Have you had time to process all that you've seen?
Well, that happens over time. That's a tough question to ask to answer rather the same day. So no, I suppose I haven't. But I was there for the attempt on her in Karachi a while back, and I suspected that this could happen again. Her rallies, her campaign rallies recently have been very small because they've tried to control the safety situation, and this one was announced in advance. And so whoever planned this attack, they had time on their hands to plan everything properly, and we saw the results today.
So you had a little bit of a premonition. What was the mood like in the crowd that you were amidst in all of the chaos?
Well, during the campaign rally, it was a rather large ground, sort of a park ground there, and we all expected it to be filled. And in fact, it wasn't. There were less people there than most of us expected to see. And when I talked to a number of people, they said that people were just afraid to come out, and for the simple reason that they all remembered what happened in Karachi, and so many people were killed there with the same sort of attack. And that kept a number of people away, and obviously for good reason.
If you felt your life was in danger, why did you keep shooting?
Well, that's kind of what we do in this business. Once that first bomb had gone off, I just had a feeling that there wasn't a second one. I thought it was a one-time thing. What was that based on? I don't know. I can tell you this: during the beginning of the rally, when all the people were arriving, I stayed well away from the gates where they were searching people. I thought if a bomb was to go off, that's where it would happen, with the police searching the supporters coming in. But clearly, these terrorists had planned this attack well for a very specific target. and that was the former prime minister.
Well, John, we're looking at some of your images right now, and they speak volumes. They are still images, but they are really, really graphic of some of these moments. And quickly, before I spoke to you, I Google searched you, and I found this quote that you said, finding and photographing human dignity within often very undignified environments is what I try to do. Did you find any dignity? Were you trying to find any of that in these images? Was that your goal?
Well, in a situation like this, this is a breaking news event. There's not a whole lot of planning and thinking that goes into it. You're there and you react, and you try to do the best you can in a very grim environment. How do you give dignity to someone who's broken into several pieces? Well, I don't do close-ups. I try to stand back a bit and concentrate more on the living, and give the dead their space.
Well, we saw one of the last very dignified images of Benazir Bhutto. And John Moore, we so appreciate you taking some time out to give us the backstory on what it was like for you in some of those final moments. John Moore with Getty Images, thank you very much.